So, Coach, a thrilling victory in the final game, and so just initial thoughts on it.
Well, the last game at Kimbrough, we wanted to make sure everybody stayed as long as they could and enjoyed it, and we found a way. And hats off to Brandon Blair and that offensive line for getting that hole wide open and him just continuing to run. I told him he should have just jumped on Thunder down there in the back and really made a lasting memory for the last game at Kimbrough. But we're excited about the win. We tell them all the time, you got to fight for 60 minutes and stick with it. And this one took 60 minutes and came out with a victory.
How important was it to come from behind like that in the second half?
I think it's very good for a young team that's maturing to show that, Commerce, we fell behind and weren't able to come back. And this one we kept fighting and stayed in it. And, to be down by 10 points the way we were, them getting the punt return back there. The first drive we held them to a field goal. I thought that was big. Kept us within getting ahead with 2 scores. And then the spark was lit with the 78-yard pass to Samaje Mitchell, and then we got a fumble the next play, and then we go back and forth in the fourth quarter. So it was certainly a fun game to cheer in the stands to watch and enjoy, and a little gut-wrenching down on the sideline. But again, I'll take the outcome.
Where did the big play potential come from all of a sudden?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I think it's I made a comment earlier that we haven't had that type of player here, and then this year we do. I think you look at Brandon and Marshawn, they're filling in for Duke and Logan, and you would think Duke and Logan would be the ones that would have that big play. And it just shows that we have good young talent here, and hopefully we can mature them and get them growing and get them bigger and stronger and faster and show something the next couple of years.
And that offensive line, especially on that last touchdown run by Brandon, just a huge hole.
Yeah.
I mean, great job by those guys.
Well, I was watching film of the players and said I could have run through that hole, probably made it to the 50. Wouldn't have made it all the way to the end zone. It wouldn't have gone 78. I'd have gone about 20. But it was every single play that was a big play, there was a huge hole. And when we have the running backs capable of playing their foot and going, that's what they can do. Beat the safeties, and they were really outrunning those guys to get to the end zone.
You're 6-4. You told me though after the game you want to be 7-4 going to Midwestern or MSU. What will it take to knock them off and knock them out of the playoffs?
It's going to take one heck of a team effort. We're going to have to play a perfect game. Their offense led by Rob is unbelievable. He does so many great things with the football. The way they run their offense with the RPO system. It's going to look like a run, and he's going to pull up and he's going to put it on throw a strike. And it could be anywhere from 5 yards down the field to 50 yards down the field. He's got that type of arm. Defensively, they're very, very strong up front, very quick up front. So that offensive line will have its hands full this week. And, and they're playing to get the playoffs, and we're playing to continue to build on what we're doing. And so hopefully we'll go out there and be a lot more competitive than we were this time last year going out there.
What will you work on, most on the defensive side of the ball? Because, in this last week's game, you had some difficulty at times covering their receivers. You expect the same challenge this week?
A lot of it was communication among our players. They got in so many different formations and shifted and motioned a lot. And we didn't line up right. And it was a lot of times it was because I tell our inside backers they have blinders on. You got to quit focusing on what's just in front of you and see what's going on all around you. Know where your threats are and know what the motion's going to do. And it's their job to get us in the right spot. And I don't feel like we communicated well enough. And the other thing is tackling. And you have to be able to tackle the football. We didn't do a very good job of tackling this week.
It seems that throughout the season you guys have kind of played to the level of your opponent in a way. What have you seen throughout, though, that you like the most consistently?
I agree with you 100%. I think we played to the level of our opponent. And I think the most consistent thing is take out the Eastern New Mexico game because we were flat and they just beat us. But I think that we have stood toe-to-toe for at least a half with some really good teams. We've been able to upset some teams. We've actually gone on the road and played extremely well. I think we've actually played better on the road than we have at home, and that's something during the offseason that we're going to figure out why. Is there a reason for that? But I like the way we handle ourselves on the road, and I continue to see the fight continue to happen for 60 minutes, and it just showed this past weekend. So that's the maturity and growth of the team as we move along.